Okay, so hello everyone, this is Akshay here, and let us quickly solve the today's problem of the day. Today's question name is construct list using XOR query. So let us quickly head back to our tab section. And before moving ahead, so that's a YouTube channel, and today marks our, I don't know, day 648 of publicly solving the problem solving streak. So let us continue now. ठीक है यार, तो आज का क्वेश्चन क्या है? There's an array that initially contains a single value 0. ये क्वेश्चन हमने पास्ट में भी सॉल्व कर रखा है. I don't know the day number, but it has been solved in past. If I go back and see what day it is, so day 505 is the one जहाँ पे we have repeated the same question, right? तो इस क्वेश्चन को फटाफट करते हैं. So given a list of queries of size q where each query is one of the following types. So 0x means you insert x into the array. 1x means replace every element a in the array is or x, where this denotes the bitwise or operator. Okay? So for this first, so it started with the initial value in the list. We have initial value setting as 0. Now this is 6, so 0 and 6 added, 3, 0, 6, 3 added, 2, so 0, 6, 3 and 2 is added. Now 1 and 4, so we need to do XOR of each element by 4. That is 0 XOR 4 4, 6 XOR 4 2, 3 XOR 4 7, 2 XOR 4 6. Similarly, the next entry is 1 comma 5, so we need to do XOR of each element by 5. So 4 XOR 5 is 1, 2 XOR 5 7, and so on and so forth, right? So if you clearly see, if we just follow this naive pattern of updation, then you would see that you'll have a queue queries to, if we maybe go from left to right, left to right, then you'll have queue queries to go for, and then once you have a value, a query which points to one, you need to update your entire array, right? So q star q would be your worst complexity if you go from right to left. But having said that, अगर आप सोचो, if we would have started from left to right, तो क्या हम कुछ optimization कर सकते थे? बिल्कुल कर सकते थे यार. So what are those optimization? Let us quickly discuss on that. But before that, give me a second. Something is happening with my screen. Okay, so let us do a quick dry run. So what we'll do is that we'll have a temp variable which will point to 0 first, right? And whenever our query is for entry one, we just update our temp. So since the pointer here is 1, the type of query is 1, so we'll update our temp to zeros or 5, which is nothing but 5, right? So we move to the second last position as we are traversing from right to left. See, we found that the query is again type 1. We update our temp. So 5 or 4 will give you this 5 and this is 4. So same bits, different bits, 1, same bit 0, same bit 0. So 5 or 4 will give you 1, right? Now the next is 0 or 2. So whenever we found a type query of 0, we will make an array list, and we will put the entry of temp, your current temp XOR the array element, which is 1 XOR 2. 1 XOR 2. Again, the next entry is again type query 0. So we'll put the current temp, which is 1 XOR 3. The next would be again a type query is 0. Then again the current temp 1 XOR 6. And at last there are no entries available. So we'll push this temp itself, right? Because you see that initially we started a value with a value 0, right? तो ऐसा किया क्यों यार? If you see कि rather than if would have started from left to right, अगर ये type query 1 आता है, तो we would have used another for loop, and we iterate again in the remaining list on the left hand side, and we update it with the query operation, right? Queries or operation. But वहीं अगर हम right hand side से शुरू करें, तो हम already XOR का weightage अपने साथ लेके चल रहे हैं. So we already have that XOR weighted sum, and we just have to do one XOR, right? What I'm trying to say is this two should have a XOR of 4 and 5, 4s or 5s or 2, right? यहाँ पे ये आना चाहिए था, तो वही तो हमने किया. We already stored that 5s or 4 in our temp variable using the privilege that we started from right to left, right? And if you solve this, 1s or 2 will give you, let us solve. So 1, 2 is this, 0 and 0 is 1. So 1s or 2 will give you, so these are different bits, so 1 and 1. So this will give you 3, right? Similarly, 1s or 3, so 3 and 1. So same bits 0, different bits 1, so this will give you 2. Similarly, 6 is written as 110 and 001. So different bits 1, different bits 1, different bits 1. So this will give you 7 and this is 1. If you sort, the question says we need to return in the sorted. So just call a collection.sort function into this array list, and you will get an answer as 1, 2, 3, and 7. If you see, that is your expected output. Now let's pause this video here now and try to code this approach by yourself. Okay, so coming back to our code editor. So let us do the coding part now. Right, so since the return type is array list, so I'm gonna use one array list here. And let's say answer is equals to new array list. Now I'm gonna introduce one temp variable that isn't temp is equals to 0. And I'm gonna traverse in uh, in the direction that is from right to left. So for that, I need the queries length. So queries dot ngth, and we store it into a variable, let's say q, right? And just for the convention, let us rename this as array. Now for int I is equals to q minus 1 till I greater than equals to 0, I minus minus, right? What I'm going to say, I'm going to check that if my query type, so query type is at the first index, that is 0th index. If it is equals to 0, then in that case, we add the current temp XOR with our current value, which is residing at array of I second index, right? And if that is not the case, we just keep on updating our temp value. So temp XOR equals to I array of I index second, right? And once the for loop, we exit from for loop, so we're gonna add this current temp, and we're gonna call a sorting function, inbuilt function. So that is collections dot sort answer. So we are using answer, and we return that answer, right? That is it for this one. What will be the time and space? So this for loop is taking O of Q, but since we are what do you say, sorting, then it would be Q log Q as time and O of 1 as your space. That is it for today's one. Children, keep on, keep going, bye bye, and take care, guys.